I'm Kate and I am back with another May I Scraplift You, and today we are scrap lifting Wendy Tipton right here. How exciting. I absolutely love the fact that she used all those thickers. Do you guys see those? She used all those thickers behind this ginormous shape, and so I'm super excited to give that a try because I have all of these alpha sheets. Not that, that's weird. I have all of these alphas that are uber old from close to my heart. I'm sure I could probably make another word, but some of them are like stuck on the sheet and things like that, and they're hard to come off and whatnot. And I just basically want to be done with them, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. It's also Take Out Your Tools Tuesday. Can you guess what tool we're going to use today? Yes, we are. We're going to use embossing folders. And I wanted to roughly show you guys, one, what's out there, or used to be out there, but I still have in my stash. And two, like the differences between them as far as, you know, my little brain goes and works, right? So the first one that I wanted to show you guys is that I have a Tim Holtz standard embossing folder. Standard meaning like it was made for cards. It's only like 5.5 by 4.25 or just a hair smaller or bigger than that. And then I have a one that's Doris, which used to be available at Joann's, but now I'm not sure if they're available anywhere anymore. I don't really know. I don't have very many of them, to be honest. I stopped actually buying embossing folders a while ago. I buy some from Stampin' Up! That coordinate with a few things or have, you know, a design that's a little bit versatile. But other than that, I completely stopped purchasing these because of the fact that I felt like I had a great arsenal already. So why did I bring out these two to talk about? Because back in the day when they made these, they made them, like I said, whoa, slick little booger. They made these for card fronts, right? So I'm going to stick my, you know, 4 by 5.25 inch piece right here. I'm going to smush this and I'm going to get this really cool compass look on the front of my card. How awesome is that, right? Well, then scrapbookers started becoming involved and all that stuff. So other companies started to think, okay, what if the person is not making a 4 by 5.5, 4, 5.25, whatever size card? What if they're making a larger card? What if they want to do the back of the card? What if they want to do the envelope, blah, blah, blah? What if they wanted to do a strip of paper for their scrapbook, right? So they started including a little hole in there for you to pull paper all the way through. Now this one is quite weird because it's only this large, okay? Like 2 inches, maybe? Maybe, I have to guess now. It is 1.5 inches. I was so off. And 1.5 inches, if you look, gives you most of the butterflies and this really cool swirl, but not this main image that you were looking for. But still, they were thinking about you and they put this little slot so you could run this all the way through, however long your piece of paper was. So that's what they did. And they continued to do that on all the different sized embossing folders there were. But also included in that size embossing folder were Create Your Own. Now these happen to be Cricut. I don't know if they sell these anymore. I know Cricut doesn't. In fact, I don't even know if Cricut is a part of ProvoCraft or are they standalone now. I have no idea. But when Cricut was ProvoCraft, they came up with a whole bunch of Create Your Own because now you have this Cricut to do so. They came up with stencil material, they came up with stamp material, they came up with, you know, embossing folders with the weird stuff to go with. This one was a little bit challenging, I'm gonna have to say. So I wanted just an embossing folder that every now and then had a cross rather than a plus sign. Of course, I lost one because nobody told me that I had to put every single one of these little bits in by hand. What a pill. I don't even know how I made this one, but I did, and I still have a bunch of blanks to create more. I don't know. Oh, I do. This is what the paper material looks like when you run it through. I even have the directions of how to create your own embossing folder using these blanks and your Cricut, okay? So in case you're curious, like I said, I don't know if they still make those or not. I'm not sure. But nowadays, besides the normal 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 embossing folders, they also come out with I think this one is 6. Yep. 6, whoa, 6 1/4, 6 1/2. Wow. 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. So now you're getting that, you know, that larger piece, which is mostly for like a back of a photo mat, that sort of thing. This is a 5 by 7. Now this one is pre the slot in the middle, so I actually cut my own, and I cut it to where the pieces here, don't do this, you guys, because my pieces right here, there's probably not even 1/4 of an inch on both sides, and so I have to be very delicate with this and know that that slot is in there, but I don't hardly use that slot at all. I just wanted 4 inches to go through my this piece right here, so I could have it going all the way across a layout, is basically what it was. And then this right here, because it's 5 by 7, has that 4-inch gap for you to run this all the way through, and you're able to do that. And it has the standard, like, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch on both sides. That's really heavy duty, and it is, you could definitely tell the difference between the thicknesses of the material. Then there's also 6 by 6s, right? Again, no slot going through. It just is what it is, and it actually reads like that, in case you're curious. I don't know why it's upside down. Then they also have some skinnier ones. You know, this one could be for the bottom of a card, or I'm not sure, like the side of a photo, something like that. So that's that. And then this one here, now I don't know if because of how long it was, if they have these little slits in. They have 3 of them, actually, if you guys can see. No, you can't. There's 3 little slits going down. Now, I don't know if that's because of how wide or how long this piece actually is, or if you're meant to actually put a piece of paper all the way through and continue to get this gear design that I absolutely love and had to have. Anyways. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you guys this ginormous thing right here. It is an embossing folder. It was made by Craftwell. It was part of the Teresa Collins line that she released when she released her her embossing machine. Now, it wasn't meant to just be an embossing machine. It was meant to be like the overall go-getter embossing die cutting machine that you didn't have to crank. It was, you stuck everything in a sandwich, stuck it in, and it sucked it in and went all the way through. You know, so just to let you know, it is no longer available unless you find it like on eBay or Amazon or something like that. But these embossing folders still are. They are still available. You can still get them. I don't know if you can get them on Craftwell or if you just go to eBay or Amazon. I know Amazon definitely sells them. And Joann's used to have a huge collection of them. I don't know if they still do or not, but it also has a slit in the center right here for you to, you know, just emboss the front of a card or to pull a piece of paper all the way through. It depends, because of the fact that unless you have a huge board, so like if you were to put this here, the slit is right here, and unless you put it this way, I don't know if, because this is 12 inches, I believe. Yes, it is 12 inches. So unless you had a 12-inch board to get that to go all the way through, I'm not sure how useful this little slot would be, but I do find that these are way better for me to stick an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper right here and emboss the whole thing, or stick multiple pieces inside and emboss as well. My platform is the exact size of this entire embossing folder, so I'm okay to do that. I actually have this machine that she created, or she came up with, or however that works. So yes, these are very useful for me, but if your machine is not this wide, they don't work, right? It's just, yeah, they don't work. So basically, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you guys all the different regular embossing folders out there. Now, I do know that there are these ones here, they call them now 3D embossing folders, which they are quite a bit thicker. This one I'm going to go into more detail later in the month for. So please, you know, understand that I can only feed you guys so much information before you go on brain overload, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, you just covered way too much stuff. So I'm going to stick with this standard embossing folder today. I'm actually going to be using this one right here. It's a 5x7. It's by Close to My Heart, and it's called Subway Tiles. And I thought that the Subway Tiles would be absolutely perfect for my type of layout that I am doing today. And basically what I'm doing, haha, it's a chef's hat. Isn't that cute? Basically what I will be doing is another restaurant layout that I have, I swear. Ah, here we go. Oh my god. Nope. It's all over the place, you guys. All over the place. So I've got two photos going on over here, and I wanted to use these cards. I'm not going to use this third photo. I thought it was just going to be too much, but maybe I'll bring it in. I'm not really sure. But I had these two recipe cards by Kaiser Craft, and basically what I wanted to do was trim down my photo just enough to where it covers up the Bon Appetit part, and then use this as my photo mat, like so. But first, I want to run it through this embossing folder and get it to have that Subway tile look to it. Because most restaurants have that Subway tile feel to their, you know, to their decor. And so I thought that it would be a perfect one to do. I absolutely love bringing out my embossing folders and playing with them every now and then. I don't play with them as often as I should, but now that I have a more permanent home for my machine, I do enjoy playing with my embossing folders a lot more. And you know, and it's not that I remember to use it, because I definitely remember. It's the fact that I'm lazy and I don't want to pull out my machine to pull out an embossing folder and then have to set it up and have to tear it down every single time. So that's one of the things that I've always struggled with, is if I have to pull it out and then put it away, that's, you know, other than like this stuff, I don't mind pulling out, letting it accumulate for a while, and then I'll go put it all away. But when it's a tool, like a large machine, that I have to pull out every time to use it, I know that I don't use it. And so I always encourage people to, if you're going to invest in a machine, please make sure you have a home for it where it can stay out and be handy for you to use at all times. Because it just seems to me like that's where I always fail to get anything done with those types of machines, when they're just stuck in a corner or under a shelf or something like that. So anyways, I'm going to get going. I am going to go and emboss all of these. It's a pretty simple sandwich, but I just, if I show you guys, it's irrelevant unless you have that machine, and I don't know how many were sold, to be honest, because they didn't last very long at all. It seemed like 3 months and that was it. She's done. So I'm going to go and emboss these, and then I'm going to take this entire piece of cardstock and go through all of these letters and stick them on, just basically covering up where I feel like this chef hat is going to go. So it's going to go something like this, and then I'm going to put all of my letters down, and then maybe even across the outside as well, so that way my other piece, just like Wendy's does, this is going to be my top piece right here. And so my chef hat is actually going to be cut out of this piece right here. So I'm going to cut out a border for my chef hat. Does that make sense? Maybe? Yes? No? Maybe so. Okay. All right. I might flip that though, so I can still see that fork. Nope, not going to see the fork, you guys. I am so sorry. I might flip it this way then. Then I can have that little heart. Oh, yes. Okay. So sorry about that. But yes, I'm going to cut out the shape of my hat. This is going to go on top of the alphas, on top of this. So it's going to be quite a dimensional layout just based on how thick these alphas are. And then I also have my photos. I have some solid pieces, so that way my photos kind of have a small border around them. I have my title right here, which I'm going to cut out from this card. And then I have my my Kaiser Craft embellishments again, as well as a sticker sheet from this same collection, which is Love at First Bite by Reminisce. Okay? All right, let's get going. So that I know that I have enough alphabets to fill in at least the chef's hat, I am going to roughly draw around the chef's hat and then start by putting my alphabets in within that drawn area. So because I'm a little OCD, just a little, I start with, as many alphabets in order as I can go. So I'm going, I'm singing the song as I go, and I'm putting them in alphabetical order based off of, what letters I have. I didn't realize I had any A's left until I went to the lowercase little sheet that I had. And so that is when I realized, oh, I do have A's. So anyways, to finish it off, once I had filled in all of my little drawn in area, I went and I took the rest of the sticker sheets and just filled in, what I could with all the rest of them because I was done. I was just done using this entire alpha sheet. So after that was done, and I did fill in tiny little gaps with the negative spaces of like my O's and my B's and my D's and la la la. And also all the little punctuation marks that I had left, as well as commas and asterisks and things like that. So now what I'm doing is I am outlining or inlining the chef's hat so I can cut away my my background paper and glue and still have a spot to glue my chef's hat to. So it sounds a little bit more complicated than what it was. But basically what I did was I just put a little bit of glue down on the bottom of the chef's hat. So then that way I could lay it down without having to worry about whether or not I'm going to slap it down straight or not. I am just going little bits at a time, still making sure that it's laying down flat because this is such a delicate image. It can be shifted that fast. I think I do end up shifting it like once and then was able to fix it because I am using liquid glue. So now that I put my background paper over the alphabets, it looks a little dark. It looks a little busy, but I do love it. I am very, very happy with how it looks, but it does change what I had in my brain originally. I knew I wasn't going to do flowers, you guys. In fact, I wanted to cover up the flowers that were in the hat. I debated about cutting the flowers out of the hat. Yeah, I did all sorts of stuff. So once I have my main area glued down around the chef's hat and all the little inner bits of the chef's hat glued down, I'm just going to go around each corner and put liquid glue on all of the alphabets that I put outside of my drawn area. So that's basically what I am doing, just to make sure that it is stuck down and good to go. It is rather dimensional, but again, I like it, you guys. So I'm going to cut away my title. I just didn't like the white border frame things. Like I said, my layout is rather dark. And so I just didn't want it to be, one, that big, and two, that white. So basically cut it all out and inked the edges brown, and that is it. So now I'm trimming down my photos based on the scrap of paper that I had right there. That's all that it was based on. I didn't trim them down to make them smaller, any of that stuff. I had two pieces of scrap, and I thought, oh, perfect. And they're the right color. Anyways, once I put them down, I realized 2 photos is just too much. It takes away from the fact that it is a chef's hat. It started to look like a muffin more than a chef's hat. And then my photo is so large, I can't shrink this photo anymore. I probably could have shrunk it down the horizontal way, but I really didn't want to. And so now what I did with the embossing folder, you really can't tell unless you're staring at it straight up and down, like in person, and then you'll be able to see the chef's hat. So basically, I wonkied all of my layers, kind of sort of like the sketch has. And then I put my title over where the sketch was. See, I'm trying to follow the sketch, you guys. It's not a sketch. Stop saying it's a sketch, because it is not. But I am doing as the layout suggests. And also what I'm trying to do is incorporate the leaves and foliage, but not the flower. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it still look like a chef's hat. And then I also bring in another chef's hat in order to bring that back in as well. So here's my little chef's hat. Again, when I tuck it in, it looks like a muffin. So trying to find little words and things like that with how all of these are supposed to go in place, I'm just trying to find words without saying yum all over the page over and over and over again. I found the word delicious, scrumptious, num num num, all sorts of words. And I just didn't want it to keep saying that. I didn't know really what I wanted. But the more I kept looking at it, the more I was like, it's getting busy. It really is. And I don't want the main focus to be the stuff. I want, I love the fact that my son's blue shirt makes him stick out. And I didn't want to add any other colors but, the browns and the grays. That's it. I wanted to keep it as monochromatic as possible. And then my son be as blue as possible. And then that way he doesn't stick out, or he doesn't get lost. And so if I would have added blue to this layout, I felt like he would have gotten lost and everybody would just be looking at the stuff and not the photo of, my son licking whipped cream off of his hot chocolate. So anyways, it's just, we enjoy having fun at restaurants and entertaining little children and things like that. So we always watch the cars. We ask for windows when we can, and we watch the cars drive by and check out the really cool cars. That's what the other photo was about. And my daughter's actually taking the pictures. So anyways, this is it. Here it is. I absolutely love it. Looks nothing like hers. My embellishments didn't go clear across the page because I didn't want to take away from this gorgeous chef's hat. Anyways, I will check you all tomorrow. Thank you so very much for watching. And yeah. Oh, you know what? I have not even once told you guys to check out all the other links below. I feel so bad now. I am so sorry. Check out all the links below. Everyone else that is playing along, especially Crystals and the gals that are playing on a daily basis. There's daily, weekly, and then whenever we can ease. Yep, that's what it is. Thank you so much. See ya.